I enjoyed this week. A Scottish lady called Moira returned from holiday in Australia to discover a snake had travelled all the way home with her on the plane, hidden inside her luggage. Here's the snake just after it was found. Look at that. That's a surprise. Apparently, the snake is a spotted python. That's because it's spotted everywhere except at Australian airport security. How did she get that through? I try and go through security. I've got a little tiny bottle of hair gel that I didn't put in the right thing. It's not in the bag. I'm out the line, full search, everything. And then, when the snake gets through, they just go, on your way, Sheila, in Australia. Let me ask one of our guests. Samuel, what would you say if you happened to be on an aircraft as a mode of transport and then appeared to have a snake, or perhaps even several snakes, on board of the aeroplane with you? If there were, in fact, snakes on the plane. I mean, how would you react to that?
I think the reports of me hating and not liking snakes have been greatly exaggerated. But in most cases, I would pull the mongoose I have in my pocket out and let him handle it.
That's the only answer.
Always have a pocket mongoose.
I think he means an actual mongoose. I don't think it's a euphemism.
Yeah, it's a euphemism.
I have 9 personal dogs.
Hold it. What's that mean, like some are shared dogs?
Well, I have 23 foster dogs.
Wow. Hold it, so you've got 32 dogs in total?
Dogs, and then 4 cats, and then 2 donkeys, 2 sheep, 2 cows, 3 goats, 1 pony.
And this is all in just a little 2-bedroom flat. Are they like pet animals? Do you have names for them all?
Yes, I have names for them all. Actually, the sheep right there, his name is Norman, and I raised him in my bed.
Wow. What does that mean?
It means that he was a few days old, and I bottle-fed him until he was full-grown in my... Yeah, he slept in my bed, woke up every 4 hours.
But hold it, when they're sleeping in bed, do they have to wear, like, a nappy?
Yep, he wore a nappy.
So he wore a nappy?
Well, and I had to go buy nappies, and then people thought I was pregnant.
Oh, right.
So then I had to say, oh, no, it's my sheep. He sleeps in my bed. And then once he grew, I had to go back and go in the adult section to get nappies.
Wow. And that's even harder to explain, isn't it?
And they're priced, aren't they, Jonathan?
Yeah.
You know fully.
I know very well. I get the feeling you're in relatively good shape, Paul. I mean, you don't strike me as being super fit, but you're not out of shape. You look like you look after yourself enough to still. No.
Beautiful man.
I'm just saying. I know. But
but you're right. I mean,
you're like just in good enough shape to get back in the Ant-Man uniform, but not on a beach. Nothing special. Am I right?
I think that's a pretty fair assessment.
Oh,
I don't know about getting back in the suit, but
So my question is,
okay.
Have you ever injured yourself in any routine?
Have I ever injured myself?
Yes.
Yeah, I have. I injure myself on most things I've worked on, honestly. In Ant-Man, I once had to get in the suit, and there was some kind of spider or something that bit me, and my whole arm blew up, and I had to go to the hospital and get... And I'm like, that's another Marvel movie, isn't it? It was really painful.
So hold it. So a spider had got into the ant suit.
I assume it was a spider. It was something. Maybe it was a really pissed off ant that felt we weren't representing him properly. I don't know what it was. But it was something.
Justice for the ants. Frank, you still do quite a lot of material based on your domestic situation, on your relationship with Kath, and it's not like you're painting a rosy picture of being married.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I think we've been together 23 years, and I think it's good for a comedian to be in a long-term relationship because it means awkward silences don't frighten me. But when we do argue, I've always said that if you watched us argue, it'd be like going to a gig to see a band, because we start with some new stuff. And then eventually we roll out our greatest hits.
Yeah, that's it. That's for the call to recognition there.
It's total record. Yeah, so I'm saying stuff like, and here's a grudge of mine you might remember from 2005. And off we go.
That's Jesse Plemons, who is your husband, isn't he?
Yes, yeah.
Well, I've admired him on screen for a while, but he does worry me because he plays weird people so well.
He does.
And you've worked with him before.
I worked with him. We did
times.
Fargo season 2 together.
Yeah, which was great.
And that's when we kind of became creative soulmates in a way. We felt, you know, very much in love creatively. And then we got together a year later.
Do you like working with him? Is it easier
Yes.
working with someone? Because presumably you have a sort of shorthand, you know what...
I love working with him. He's my favorite actor. So, and we really... It's true, though, guys. It's true. I really love working with him. He's just... when we first worked together, it just felt so free. It just felt the way you imagine acting should feel, you know.
Do you remember the show, which they used to call Mr. and Mrs., but I'm not going to say that on the show because we'll get sued. So do you remember a show? Do you remember a show when they had married couples and they would ask them how much they knew about each other? And so we thought we'd do that with Pete and Abbey, and I thought it might be fun as well if you guessed what the answer would be. Okay. So unofficially, for the next few minutes, your threesome.
Right. Okay. It's all the rage now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it?
You tell me.
Who's married to a pervert?
Would you pass that down to Baba, please? And then there's 2 for Pete. So you can see the way it goes. We've got Abbey on one, Pete on the other, and you hold up the one, and I'm going to give you some questions, and we're going to see which one's which, and we'll find out some information as well. So here we go. Which of you has the weirdest pet name?
We haven't really got one, have we?
No, we're crap at that.
You don't have pet names for each other?
You don't have a pet name?
No, like, I call her Babe and she calls me Pete.
That is boring.
Even I got a pet name for my wife.
Babe and Pete. Baba, do you have a pet name for your wife that you're allowed to say? What's hers? Oh, no.
Pony.
Pony.
Yeah.
Pony. And her name for you?
Oh, no, well, let's not... Can't repeat that on TV, you know that one thing, bro.
Okay. Who do you think your kids like the most?
What was it? Who, what?
Who the kids like the most?
Who like the most? Yeah. Simple. yeah, that's...
Yeah.
But you're bound to say that.
So are they.
No. I'm the favourite, without a doubt.
Really? But you're the tougher parent,
No,
aren't you?
Ab's more strict, you know, she does the schoolwork, and I'm like, I forget all that, we'll have fun.
You went with Abbey. Why did you go with Abbey?
I'm trying to make the right choice. I'm always side of the woman.
Who holds grudges for the longest? Wow! No, hold on.
Huh? What happened?
Straight up.
That was by accident.
I'm not a grudge hold. That's actually one of my best traits.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
good, it's good. Well, what Ab will
if
do
we
is
have
blow out at me, and then it's like over quick.
Which I got from listening to your podcast, but I think if I hadn't heard you say that, I would have thought you were a grudge holder.
Oh, no.
Really, but you're not. You're somebody who gets out your system and moves on.
Yeah,
I would
no,
like to say, right, this is the issue. Let's work through it, put it to bed, over.
Forget it.
The only reason I hold a grudge is because I can't get a fucking word in. In the first place.
And your relationship, you've been married to Shakira for how many years now?
45 years.
45 years. Isn't that beautiful? That's so lovely. She's wonderful, of course.
Oh, yes, she really is wonderful. Yeah.
What advice would you give to David, who is currently single, in what to look for in a partner, how to have a life partner of some meaning and profundity and longevity?
We're extending the programme, are we?
Give us a couple of snippets.
Well, no, well, my experience was I saw this lady on the television in a commercial and fell in love instantly. And it was a commercial for coffee in Brazil and everything, and an awful lot of coffee in Brazil was the tune. But I just watched her, and I thought, that's the woman for me. And I said to my mate, I said, we're going to Brazil in the morning, we're going to find her. and I went down the disco to my mate, in Tramp, where we all went, and we're sitting there, the three of us, and one of the guys came in. He said, where are you three? No girls? What's going on? I said, well, no, I said, I saw a beautiful girl on the television. I said, and I'm going to Brazil in the morning to find her. He said, I've been watching television all evening. I never saw any beautiful girls. I said, no, she wasn't in a show. She was in a commercial. He said, what's a commercial for? I said, Maxwell House Coffee. He said, we do that. I said, well, you know the Brazilian girl in it? I said, I'm going to Brazil in the morning to find her. Can you help me? He said, Michael, she's not Brazilian. She's Indian. I said, oh, really? And he said, yeah, and she lives in the Fulham Road. So, the moral of that tale, be prepared for it to come out of nowhere.